Happy Monday morning. It's my usual yogurt and cottage cheese and 3 chicken sausage links for my first meal of the day. You'll see this a couple times this week. It's fogging up my phone. This I had some of that skillet pork loin that I cut up a couple weeks ago. So I cooked in the skillet, and then I added some stuff, and I didn't measure it, so I can't really plug this into my fitness pal. But what I do know, this is about 6 ounces of pork, and I've added in some of the G. Hughes Polynesian sauce, some liquid aminos, some sriracha sauce, and then I added in a couple other things, and next time I do it I'll measure, but a little bit of rice vinegar and sesame seeds, sesame oil, and then there's a few little sesame seeds in there too. So I pan fried up the pork, and then I added the others and then made a sauce out of it. Like I said, I didn't measure, and I should have. I was just in the moment and making it with whatever I felt like. So next time I'll measure, but this is my little version of a Asian pork. And then I've got some pickles on the side. If I had cabbage, I would have made cabbage because that would have been really good with it. Supper tonight is 11 ounces of 93% ground beef and 2 servings of that tzatziki spinach artichoke with Greek yogurt. And that's going to be supper tonight. Good Tuesday morning. The doctor I work with and his wife both do keto. So this is a quiche that she made. I do not know how, don't have a recipe, but anyway, he brings me one piece from time to time. So I'm having that for my first meal of the day. I can't count the calories because I don't know what's in it. So today we'll be all jacked up. But supper is going to be that pork that I made. So I already don't know how much, is in that. So why not have it all in the same day? Then I don't have to worry about it. So a piece of quiche. Like I said, I know it's keto, so he said it's made with eggs and heavy cream and some meat. And then my 3 sausages. That'll be my first meal of the day. So my lunch today is some 80-20 ground beef. Originally it was, I think, I put 2 6 ounces together so that because I need to get rid of them. So anyway, but this morning I couldn't even tell you how much to the dogs because they were just looking so cute and I needed to give them a bite. So I gave them some bites. So I don't even know. Maybe it's 8 ounces, 9 ounces. But anyway, since I'm not counting because of my breakfast and supper, and like I said, I need to get rid of this. So this is how much it looks like. Maybe I don't know, maybe 10, I don't know, whatever it is. But it's some 80-20 ground beef and a thing of pickles, and I'm going to add some seasoning to this. Like I said, today's just kind of a weird day, so I'm rolling with it. Now tomorrow I start the 8 ounces. I've got it all kind of figured out for how I'll put it in and what I'll put it in. And instead of doing 6 ounces of 80-20 at lunch and 11 ounces of 93 for supper, I think it starts tomorrow or maybe the next day. I'm going to be doing 8 ounces of either 93% beef or chicken, 8 ounces of ground chicken, or I think I did 7 ounces of lean pork. I'll tell you what I have each time, but pork loin. But anyway, so I will tell you what I have each day, but I'm just trying to look at ways of changing things around because sometimes you just got to make changes. Oh, and I was down 1 pound this week, so I am 214. So that's a total of 124 pounds that I'm down. And supper is the last of the pork and Polynesian stuff. And then I've got about about 2 servings of sauerkraut in there. So that's what I'm having for supper. Happy Wednesday. For breakfast, I have a serving of my cottage cheese and yogurt. And I added a couple squirts of orange vanilla Mio. And then I have a Topo Chico with a couple squirts of lemonade Mio. And I have 3 of my sausage links. Lunch today, I start the 8 ounces for my lunch and supper starting today. So got 8 ounces of 93% ground beef. And I have, it's 2 tablespoons of that tzatziki sauce I showed y'all. And then I've got one of those little pickle packs. And this is my lunch for today. Supper tonight, I'll show you it whenever it's done, but I have 7 ounces of pork loin. I added 2 tablespoons of this Polynesian, teaspoon of liquid aminos with 5 grams. I added, I am so sorry, half of a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil. I added, whatever this amount was back here, 15 mils of rice vinegar. And I added 10 grams of this sriracha. So I put all this in, and let me get this out of the microwave. I'll show you what it looks like. This is in essence what I had the other day that I didn't measure, except this time I measured it. So that's what I got. That's how it looks. It's kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's kind of an Asian flair. So calories today was 1207, 131 protein, 14 carbs, 65 grams of fat. So I was just kind of messing around. I want to do it to where it's 8 and 8, so for lunch and supper. Like if I use ground beef, I don't want to have to like, oh, well, I need to make this many for breakfast and this much for lunch, this much for supper. Trying to just make it to where I can reach in and grab 2 things, and whatever those 2 things are, that's what it is. So like this pork is 7 ounces because that's kind of similar to 8 ounces of the 93%. I took away the 80-20 starting, I think this all started today. And so I've got 8 ounces of 93 I'll be using, 8 ounces of ground chicken, and then 7 ounces of the ground pork. Just kind of, like I said, trying to normalize things a little bit, get some even amounts so I can grab whatever I want to grab and start eating. Well, it is breakfast time, and I am working from home today because of the weather. There's my 3 sausages. There is my yogurt and cottage cheese, and I have not mixed it up yet. And there is my coworker for the day. Well, one of them. Lunch is pork loin and the seasonings that I used on my pork in the previous part of the video, and 2 pickles with some tahini on them. It's kind of a fun flavor. I put that on it. So that is my lunch for the day while I'm working at home. Supper tonight is ground beef, 8 ounces, 93%, and 2 tablespoons of Rao's marinara, and 1 tablespoon of cream cheese. Kind of gives it, I had it frozen, so it's kind of grainy, almost like a ricotta. So that'll be my supper right here. Meal prep, because, I was working from home today. So 93% ground beef in the crock pot on low. And then one of those beautiful pork loins. I've got it in here. Honestly, I just grabbed one and didn't realize it was one that was tied up. So that's on low. And yeah, so I'll be having this in my meal prep this upcoming week. Lunch today is my 7 ounces of pork. Oh, I got to sneeze. Sorry about that. And I used that Polynesian teriyaki, that whole thing that I used the other day in my last one, except I left off the sesame oil, and I have 2 pickles with tahini, and that's what I have for my lunch today. I've reached the age I have to go knocking on neighbors' doors to open stuff for me. Couldn't get my sauerkraut open. The other day it was a jar of pickles. Anyway, this is 90 grams, well, without the spoon, of sauerkraut. And this is 8 ounces of ground beef with a serving of relish, dill relish, serving of primal ketchup, and a serving of this stone ground brown mustard. So this is going to be my supper tonight. I forgot to show you breakfast, but I just finished up making up my breakfast, which is my yogurt cottage cheeses. I have those up. That's my yogurt and cottage cheese in containers, and 1 serving, so I can grab them and go in the morning before work or if I'm home. And I have 1 serving left over. I left the little plastic or, this sticker label over it so that way I can know this one from those. Because I'd be sad if I got to work and it was just 1 piddly little serving of cottage cheese compared to the cottage cheese and yogurt that I usually take. Here's how the fridge is looking these days. There's my coffee. I make up a big old pot and then heat it up in the morning in the microwave. I've got my almond milk in there and my pickles. These, I bet I've had these in there for 6 months. It's just different drinks. That's the dog's leftover juice whenever I cook my meat. Anyway, so there's my breakfast right there. I'll just grab one in the morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Anyway, there's a bunch of them. And I'll just take one in the morning, grab and go. That's just where I rotate stuff to. That's my different toppings for my meat, my sauerkraut, my marinara, and stuff. I didn't eat eggs this weekend. This is what I'm working on today, so this will be my lunch and supper. Still labeling them. That's chicken 8 ounces and 93% 8 ounces. I'm still rotating these. So I pulled 2 things out of the freezer. Now that everything is 8 ounces, I can grab 2 of anything and it doesn't matter. So I do those, and then I go ahead and set one of these on top of it. And I have a rotation of it. It goes here. Then whenever I eat one, I put the most frozen right there. And then it rotates to there, and then here, and then here. So tomorrow, I pull this off and bring it down to this shelf. And I'll rotate this one to this blank spot, and that it just makes a circle rotation. So that's how I'm rotating my food. And there's some that's whenever I do my Asian flair stuff. And yeah, that's how my refrigerator's looking. Freezer, that's just a hodgepodge of stuff. That's some bacon grease. That down there, that's my 8 ounces of meat. And if it's pork, now I'm putting a label on. If it's pork, I put a label. I know it's 7 ounces. That's the only one that changes. So ground chicken is 8 ounces. Ground beef is 8 ounces. And that down there is the dog's meat juice. And then this morning I did up my chicken sausages. So this morning I had 1 of those chicken sausages, 1 of my yogurt cottage cheeses, and that's what I had. Oh, and I had my coffee. So I'll hit you up at my next meal. Lunch is 6 ounces of pickles. I'm going to put some of this tahini on here. So that's that. And I've got 8 ounces of ground chicken. Hang on, I have to... it was low, and so I had extra ground beef, so I put a little bit of the 93% ground beef in there when I was making it the other day. That's funny. And then I've got some G. Hughes sweet chili. So let me zero this bad boy out. And this is by grams. So let's switch it to grams. And it's third. Oh, okay. All right. Well, 33 grams. Close enough. I never had this before, but, you know, since I had I got to heat it up. Dadgummit. But since I've had COVID, everything is bland. And so it's like I really am needing like extra spice and flavor to my food. So put that in this little microwave on 222. I'm also adding in 1 wedge of Laughing Cow cheese. Let me mix it. And there you go. I added my lemon and pepper spice seasonings. And that's that sweet chili. That's the little red thing. So, yeah. So that's what I'm having for lunch today. Look, it's the last day of my recording, so I'll get my next meal. And it's Saturday and I'm a hot mess. But I just want to talk to you a minute. So my coworker and I were talking yesterday. She's a very, very strong health person. Like, she's a strong health nut. She goes to the gym all the time. She, very health conscientious, blah, blah, blah. And she's been that way, good 6-7 years. So I'll never catch up. But anyway, my point is, when she and I were talking, we were laughing and talking about how probably about 4 years ago, I told her, I said, if you would have told me that I would be eating 1,200 calories a day, I would have just slapped the shit out of you. And anyway, so we talked about how, it's a long journey. So if you're watching my video and you haven't started, you're wondering how to start, don't just jump in and cut out your calories and cut out this. Use bridge foods. Use a step-by-step process. Focus on one thing, one step at a time. I mean, if you go back in my videos, that's what I did. I started by watching or utilizing the recipes from Diet Doctor. And I just followed their recipes. And then once I got the hang of it, then I was like, man, I'm lazy. I just want to eat meat. And so I did that. And when I plugged in about how much I was eating about 2,400 calories. So whenever I see now that I'm eating 1,200 to 1,300, that's about 1,000 calories less than what I was whenever I first started and was losing weight. It's just when I hit that stall, I had to change. So if you're in the beginning stages, don't just look at what I'm eating and say, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories, even though I weigh 340 pounds. I would have never, ever, ever done that in the beginning. Like I said, it's a step-by-step process. And you kind of just got to do one step at a time. Cut out pasta for a while. Then cut out potatoes for a while. Look at what you're eating and cut out one thing at a time. It's okay to do one step at a time. I mean, I've been doing this now since 2019, 21, 22, so almost 3 years. And if you go back in my videos, I've changed how I eat over and over and over, because you have to tweak and you have to grow as a person and in the way you eat and the way you live. So seriously, it is a process, and you have to just tweak your process and figure out what's going to work for you. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that it's a process, and it doesn't just happen. You're not going to just jump in and be mentally able to just change your habits and your food. It's a step-by-step process. And if you ever have questions, you ever, want me to reach out and talk to you about each step-by-step process, look me up on Facebook. I'm Terry Lease there. And, you can add me as a friend or send me a message or post, but leave a comment that you're doing it so that way I know you're not some random stranger trying to get money from me. So anyway, yeah, it's a step-by-step process, and I've come a long way in the past 5-6 years. This is my third and final meal for the day. I have 5 grams of Parmesan cheese, 93% ground beef, 8 ounces, 5 grams of Parmesan, a half serving of Rouse, so 1/4 cup of Rouse, and 2 tablespoons of Philadelphia cream cheese. I'm going to put a little slap your mama on it. And I was going to put some lemon pepper on it, but I can't do it one-handed. Maybe I will. Okay, so now I do. I've got my lemon pepper spice, slap your mama, and adobo, along with the Rouse and Parmesan and cream cheese. And for my drink tonight, sometimes when I go to, well, used to, when I would go to restaurants, they have those fancy lemonade strawberry icy thingies. Well, that's not what this is. This is Topo Chico with some lemonade mio and some pineapple mango meal. So this is just kind of my fun little wild time. So that's supper and that's my drink. So for the day, I've got 1263 calories, 141 protein, 26 carbs, and 62 fat. And that is the end of my video and end of the week.